Hi everyone, Andrew just chiming in here. Just to say, if you're new to the show, you're probably wondering why we have some video and mainly audio. We've been mainly doing video for our live streams, which we've been doing every Tuesday, where we're discussing HBO's The Last of Us. We will be working on, hopefully soon, getting video for all of our episodes, but right now our main episodes are usually podcast based. So you have to listen to them via audio, but I'm working on it. So if you want more video, make sure you check us out on our live stream on Twitch. I'll have the information for our Twitch streams in the description of this episode, but most of this episode is audio. But you can catch us every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we'll be discussing every new episode of The Last of Us. So far, we've only done episodes 1 and 2, and of course, we're going to be doing every episode all the way up to the finale. Don't forget to check out episode 3. We'll have special guest Brian Taylor from the Fandom at Random podcast.
They took your favorite game and made a movie so bad you had to spew. What's a nerd to do? Well, listen to 8-Bit Movie Review with Josh and Andrew. It's 8-Bit Movie Review.
Welcome back, gamers. This is Andrew Gonzalez.
And I'm Josh Edgington.
And this is 8-Bit Movie Review, the podcast where we discuss movies, series, and all things video games. And this week, we visit Night City again and discuss Netflix's Edgerunners.
Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Isn't Cyberpunk 2077? Oh, did I say Cyberpunk? Or did I just say Netflix's Edgerunners?
You just said Netflix's Edgerunners.
Oh boy, I fucked up, guys. That's it. It's over.
End of show.
Now, Josh, have you been playing anything? Do we really need to go into the gaming zone?
Nope.
Okay. Normally we go into the gaming zone, which is where we discuss what we're playing. But this week, I haven't really been playing much. I guess I've been just going back into The Last of Us. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you were freeing up your time for Dead Space.
Dead Space is in a week. I'm just fucking around in Jedi Fallen Order for a week, and then I'm going to curb it for Dead Space Remake until I platinum that game.
Cool. You think you're really going to platinum it? What if it breaks on you?
Then I cry.
If it blocks you out like Cyberpunk did?
Then I'll cry.
Well, I want to bring up something before we get into discussion. Josh and I have started doing live streams of our discussion of The Last of Us, the HBO series. We just did one last Tuesday, which was January 17th, and we released it on YouTube the following day. So if you're looking to hear our thoughts on the first episode of The Last of Us, what was the name of that first episode again?
It was like
When You're Alone in the Darkness.
Something like that.
Yes, we had a full discussion of it. It was great. We're gonna have another one live next Tuesday and then release it on YouTube the following day. But you can find that on YouTube, or you can go to our Twitch stream and check it out there for, what do they hold it for, like 14 days at this point?
Yeah, I think you got to do something like clip it if you want to leave it on your Twitch page, but yeah. I've never figured out how to do clip a whole thing.
Well, I don't think I think
it's also not easy to do on a cell phone. So
yeah, it's I will say about the first record, I fucked up and I left. I had some while we were setting up, I had an image with some The Last of Us music playing, and I forgot to turn the music off, and I didn't monitor it correctly, and through the whole recording, you will hear the ambience of The Last of Us.
Say that guy's name.
Huh?
Say the guy's name.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Gustavo Santiago.
You can hear me mess up his name on that episode.
Gustavo Santo Aiello.
Say that 5 times fast.
No.
Do it.
Santiago.
Beautiful, man.
Thank you.
It was great. was beautiful. But Cyberpunk Edgerunners came out recently on September 13th, 2022. It was released on Netflix, and the director is Hiroyuki Imashi. I did that pretty well. I'm proud of myself on that one.
You went slow enough that you could
instead of trying to say it quick and move on as fast as possible.
Yeah. I'm not racist. I'm trying.
The summary of the show is a street kid tries to survive in a technology and body modification obsessed city of the future. With everything to lose, he chooses to stay alive by becoming an edgerunner, a mercenary outlaw, also known as a cyberpunk.
That's the name of the joke. Cyberpunk.
And I guess I'm going to say for first thought on this, I really liked it. I really liked this anime.
Yeah. I agree. I'm not a very big person when it comes to anime, and I don't like the animations. But I did like this. It was very graphic, super like stylized as far as like the art style they choose for different, like how they show certain technology being utilized, like the Sendveristan, like the slow motion thing, and I was really really interested, and luckily it's only like 20 something minute episodes, so it kind of goes by quickly, and you're not like Arcane was very nice and looked nice, but I felt that it was hard for me to pay full attention because it was like hour-long
I don't
episodes.
remember. Were the episodes very long for Arcane?
Yeah, at least an hour each.
Yeah. Well, and also Arcane was very... I liked Arcane, and listen to our episode if you didn't know we covered it. It's just the pacing was a lot slower. They had a lot more to build up to, where this does have build up, but this, and also they chose a way better animation style for this so that they can do fast-paced animation.
Yeah.
Where Arcane, that cell shading CGI animation can sometimes, that surprised me, can sometimes look cool, but it can't move as fast as this type of animation. The animation company was Studio Trigger, and they did an amazing job.
Yeah. Yeah, I do feel like I would like to watch the remaining episodes. I know that we were just going to cover 3 of them for this episode and make the decision, but probably after I finish Breaking Bad. I'm in season 5 right now, so.
Speaking of Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, Giancarlo Esposito is in this. Yeah,
he plays Faraday. He's got like this 3-eye thing going on, but like this surprised me so bad because we did like the game Cyberpunk 2077. I just think at the time we were just kind of like, oh, okay, well, this was fun, but there was a lot of glitches and there was a lot of anger on Josh's end because he got glitched out of being able to even fully complete the game if he wanted to. So
I'm not necessarily angry. It was just I have
frustration.
I have no motivation to play the game anymore. I beat it and then I uninstalled it.
But this game definitely captures like everything that that you do in the game. There's even certain locations I just remember being in that they show you in this. They even did you notice the spiritual monk guy? And then there's the guy you have to meet at some point with like a suitcase, like sitting at like a bench or something like that. I think that's part of one of the side quests. Rogue's in this.
Oh, spoilers, Jesus.
Well, no, I think that's episode 3.
No.
Oh, okay. But
now I don't have to watch the rest of them.
Well, okay, sorry, Josh, but
no,
it's not even.
Obviously,
it's not even.
I know.
It's not even a big part. They just go to the afterlife, and then like Rogue's just like it doesn't even say words, just like finger guns them, and like, oh, you're cool, and then you see
Rogue gives him the old finger blast.
Gives him the old finger blast, finger bang, bang, bang.
Yep. She was in that group.
Finger bang. But like, even the sounds when you hear like the phone calls go through, and
it's just right from the game.
I kind of wish the game was this. The thing that I think that Edgerunners does best is we really get to see more of like how harrowing it is to live in Night City.
Yeah, I mean, they try to give you a little bit of that earlier on in the story of the game. We're just showing that basically if you don't have insurance, you're just fucking left for dead no matter what, and they'll just leave you. They'll take the people that have insurance and say, "Oh, just leave them for the fucking other people." And those people do not have a good chance of making it if they go to the normal doctors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We see that in here, and they go more deep in depth than that. Like, we follow David Martinez, who's just this young kid who's going to a corpo school because his mother wants a better life for him. And she's kind of, and it's messed up because she's like an emergency. She works for like the emergency team, right? Isn't that kind of her job? And she can't even afford this insurance because she's paying all this money for her son to go to this corporal school where these kids are fucking assholes, treat him like shit. Yeah. And you know, they get new, like, you know, it's kind of like how you play the game. You know, there's a gunfight going on the highway, and his mother gets hurt, doesn't have proper insurance, goes to a regular doctor. She's fine. Her son comes back, and then they're just like, oh, something happened this morning. We couldn't resuscitate her because it's not part of her insurance. So she's dead. And here she is. And what were you saying when I talked to you about it yesterday? That what is she in? You said something like she was in a.
Yeah, they give them like a list of options. Like, hey, we can have her your body delivered to your house or a funeral home, or we can even cremate her right here on site. And then like her vase or urn comes out looking, what basically looks like a soda machine. It just comes out like a fucking can of soda.
It's like, here you go. And it's like that's David's story, and like he can't afford his rent, so they like kind of lock him out of his apartment, and he's got to like sneak in, and then like he goes to the school, and he can't, like, you know, the bullies are fucking assholes. His mom's dead, and they like, you know,
they egg him on. And then that one rich kid beats the fucking tar out of him.
Yeah, he puts in some software to have some sort of ninja fighting skills, and, you know,
beats the shit out of David.
But like the thing that I'm bringing up, because we're not going to go through the whole 3 episode, like we're just going to talk about it briefly and some characters, and it just goes like shows you how much like why there's these people that really thrive to try to be like known in Night City and try to like run the city and make money. And this really, like, I felt like this story was a little bit more impactful than V's story that we got in Cyberpunk. Like, don't get me wrong, it was cool with Johnny Silverhand. I did like that Johnny would pop up every once in a while, but I just thought this was more of like, because when you first start playing V, you kind of already kind of cocky a little bit, and you're already kind of trying to like get up in the world. Like, you already have an idea of what you need to do, where David's completely clueless. Like, he has no fucking clue what he's doing. Mm-hmm. And he just lucks out because when his mom died, they're like, oh, here's her stuff. And it was like this, what do they call it? They called it a Sandy, and it was like one of the things.
Sanvediston. It's the, like the slow-mo that you can activate in game.
Yeah.
But it's basically like a cybernetic spine.
And when we see that, we first see it in action. We see this whole beginning where actually I saw this play in the game. They added it, I think, later on in a patch. There's a side quest where you find a BD in an alleyway. If you didn't play Cyberpunk and you're just listening to this episode, sorry, there's going to be a lot of things you're not going to understand.
BD stands for brain dance. It's basically a mapping of a person's memories. Usually people were using it to get off. They'd watch a person right before they died. Yeah, and not all of them are dead people. It could also be like just watching somebody's memory of something. Yeah, like we see in the first episode, the Ripper doc is just watching like him getting fucked by 3 girls, and he has like a fucking
nipples
thing.
Licked in.
He has like a thing, like a motor thing strapped to his cock, and he's just brain dancing and coming into. See,
that's one thing we didn't see in the game, because like there's just people on the street with these auto jackers like on their dicks just in the street being like, yeah, Josh was talking about how he wants to go to the grocery store with one of those things on.
I'm wearing. When we went, I was wearing mine.
I feel like this movie just had a better rendition of how gross Night City was. Like people just fucking on the side of the street. None of the NPCs were doing any of that shit.
Yeah, you could find salacious stuff like that. People fucking puking in the street.
Oh yeah, that.
People doing drugs, drinking in the street, sleeping in the street.
But the first 3 minutes of this, you see like this cyber psycho go fucking nuts where he's wearing the Sandy and like he like murders a ton of fucking police officers and shit like that.
He walks up to a cop car who's on the scene at this crime or something. And the cop's just like, "What are you doing? Get the fuck away from me before I get out and arrest you." And he just puts a shotgun next to the guy's head and blows his head off. And then kills everybody.
And you can see this in the game. You find a BD in an alleyway. Well, Johnny's like yelling at you for being like, you're just going to pick a fucking dirty ass brain dance that's just been on the ground in an alleyway and just put it on. And you see that whole first like 3 minutes of Edgerunners, of the pilot. And then you get David's jacket, which I didn't know who David was when I played the game, but it had pretty good specs. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll wear David's jacket. Little did we know it was David Martinez. Martinez.
Yeah, I did that mission late because I was like, oh, this would have been cool if I needed street cred. But I'm level 50 street cred, so I don't need this.
Yeah, I kind of don't like that they top you off at like 50. 50 is kind of like you have this open immerse game, and you're gonna stop my stats. You're gonna stop my stats at 50, and it just seems so quick. And then you can't like.
Yeah, but street cred only unlocks things you can purchase at Ripper Docks and.
Yeah, but doesn't it also help you level up too? Because you can't level up past 50.
No, it doesn't have anything to do with leveling up.
I thought it did to a
Your
point.
experience in street cred are different.
Still, you get topped up at 50 on that too, which is obnoxious. But they might unlock more once they have the DLC. They maybe because you can't unlock every skill, which I wish you could. And just become really powerful.
Super
power. So cool.
I am a cyberpunk.
So yeah, I just like that. Like in this, like like David builds a gang. Like I wish the game was more like that. Like
he didn't build a gang.
You didn't really build a gang, or like
no, David did not build a gang.
Well, he didn't build a gang. Okay,
he was almost murdered, and then they were like, he was like, hey. Let me just don't kill me, and I want to hang with you guys. And they're like, okay, we'll let this kid kill himself. And then he does, and they're like, all right, maybe we'll use you again. Here's some money.
Well, they knew his mother, because apparently his mother was like, I think she was like,
she was holding on to the cyberware. She had it set up to sell to that guy, the guy that shows up.
Yeah, so
he'd already paid for it.
Maine. Which I thought was played by Phil Lamar. If he
I know who Phil Lamar is. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was Phil Lamar, but it's not. It sounds just like him.
He is a prominent voice actor.
Yeah. There was William C. Stevens. By the way, as you can tell, we watched the dub version.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because also they use a lot of the voices from the game. Because Wakanda. Oh, yeah, it's later. Never mind. I'm spoiling everything. I finished it, everybody. I blasted right through it.
Yeah.
So I got to hold off
I got to episode 3.
On certain cameos there are in this. But yes, David runs into some cyberpunks, and he ends up joining them after they threaten to kill him. And he first meets Lucy.
Lucy is stealing chips from people on the subway, and he is like, hey, let me help you because I can go into Sanvedistan mode and quickly steal from everybody.
Can we talk about how cool that animation was, what they chose for the animation?
So weird. Like when he goes into it, it's almost like every move is like a different color for his image. And it just shows that, like, I mean, the best example is right at the beginning of the first episode where the guy is like killing all the cops, and he activates that mode, and then you just see him circle around like 10 different cops. And then when it comes back into normal speed, like just all of their heads explode because he shot through them.
Shot them each in the back of the head.
Yep.
Wow, that animation scene was so cool. But this game also implements some things that I wish they had in the game. He had a, what do they call that? A mantis claw.
In his knee.
Out of his knee. And I'm like, oh, why didn't we get that?
It's probably just not like, how do you map the knee as opposed to like your hands to the controller?
I don't know. Maybe there's a way that they could have done it. I get it.
Yeah.
But I just felt like a lot of this show was things that they had ideas for the game and then just fell short on. Like this made me wish that the game was third person. To see your character do all the cool this cool shit. Because it was cool seeing it from the outside perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they probably were just limited by the time they had for animating, and adding that in would have been like hundreds of extra hours, and they were already fucked over.
Yeah. The plan was originally it was going to be in third person.
Yeah. And
then crunch time came and they just couldn't
crunch time
keep up with it. So, you know, it is what it is. But this is, I like this way more than the game. And don't get me wrong, I liked the game, but I just thought the story was cool. When you see people using things, it's a lot cooler. I wish you were a little bit more like in the game too. When you get all souped up, you don't become a cyber psycho, which they really push in this is overly mechanical, like getting upgrades to your body. You start to go crazy.
Yeah.
That's a thing that, you know, and I'm not going to spoil things for Josh, but that's like kind of the main theme after a while in this. It's like you're going to go fucking wild. And I wish that'd be cool in the game if they had something like that where they're like, okay, you could soup up as much as you want, but just know you're going to lose control of your character every once in a while if you put too many upgrades.
Yeah, like randomly. So you'd be OP, and then maybe you could like take something, because there's like status effects. So maybe you would have like a cyber psycho status effect, and you'd have to keep taking pills. And if you didn't, like, you would just kind of black out, and maybe you'd like come to, and there'd be a bunch of dead pedestrians, and like cops are firing at you.
Yeah.
And then you just have to deal with that kind of thing.
Your screen kind of just blanks out, but you just hear like, brrr, and it's like, it could help you in some situations, but it could royally fuck you.
Yeah.
This also made me, in that same aspect, that would have been cool if you had a crew that you had to roll with, or if you did multiplayer, if they added a multiplayer effect to this, and your character would just go nuts, and you'd like, what if one of the things where you always had to try to keep your crew alive, but if you went crazy, you'd sometimes end up killing your crew. You know?
True.
But that's just on top of all the other shit they had in that game. I'm sure if they make some sort of sequel to it, I don't know if they're going to, or deal. Well, they can't. It'd be a totally different game style. I would like to see more from them. But I just doubt with what happened, or at least if hopefully they learn their lesson. You can't have people not sleeping for days and tell them it's going to be 2022, and then a week later announce to the world it's going to be 2020, and have the developers being like, they're kidding, right? Like, they didn't talk to us about this, you know?
You know that family you have, Todd? You don't have them anymore.
You don't have them anymore. And I think this is what makes this better than the game. This was definitely well thought out. The writing, the voice acting, the animation, everything was well thought out. And I can't wait for you to watch the rest, Josh, because...
Yeah, it's a pretty simple story. Poor kid is poor, loses his mom, does whatever it takes to make ends meet, then joins a gang of cyberpunks and is like, you know what? I'll just kill people for money.
Yeah, exactly. See, I feel like that just goes to show you we didn't need the whole nomad, corpo or night kid thing. Like it all ends up being the same path. You just get slightly different choices later.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I think the story would have been a better told perspective as a street kid in Night City and the hell that he has to go through. It kind of just shows you, like, you know, more stakes.
So does David's story take place at the same time as V's?
I am not sure. I did not look that up. I probably should have. I'm assuming it's around, like, close around the same time.
Well, if Rogue's there, yeah.
But, you know, it would probably definitely be beforehand. Probably pretty close. Let me see if I can find that out. So I guess this would make sense because it's in the world of Cyberpunk 2077, and I didn't think of this either because you get little hints of things in the game. No, yeah, in the game of Edgerunners. So this is kind of considered a prequel, as you can find David's jacket given to V by Falco.
Yep.
And then Falco's in this game. I mean, I see I keep doing that in this show. And then you can also find Rebecca's gun. If you remember who Rebecca is.
I don't.
I don't know. She's got like the big pink eyes and she's kind of like zany.
Oh.
I don't think you've seen her much, but she's part of that crew.
Which crew?
Maine's crew. Do they have a name? Maine's crew? I know David has like a symbol.
Yeah, I don't remember a name of the crew.
But Rebecca has kind of like pigtails. She's got like, she's kind of short, loud.
I don't
You
know.
don't remember her?
I don't remember.
But she's kind of a zany character, and you can get her gun in Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
You don't have much to say, huh, Josh?
I watched 3 episodes. What this is what we talked about doing, is watching 3 episodes. So I mean, I can talk about where it gets to, because not a lot really happens. Like the first episode is David's mom dying and him making a decision to install the Simvedeston because he wants to beat the fucking shit out of his classmate. And it's very brutal when he goes to the Ripper dock and like he's just cutting his spine out and like bleeding everywhere, then leaving the place with like blood like pouring out of his jacket.
That Ripper dock kind of sucks, and he keeps going back to him.
Well, he doesn't have money. He's got no money. He can't go to anyone better.
True.
Well, now he has money. In episode 3, he gets money.
Money.
Episode 2 is basically him beating the shit out of the bully, but then Arasaka Corp is like, well, what should we do? This kid has the tech that we were looking for. It's like, yeah, but like he is actually utilizing it without dying. So we have to fucking do tests on this kid. And at the same time, he meets up with Lucy, does a bunch of jobs with her. Then she kind of betrays him. Honestly, I thought in that whole fucking BD thing they were doing, they were just going to like start fucking, but I guess not. Guess it was all a distraction. And then I'm pretty sure the episode ends with like them being like, hey, that's my cyberware and I'm going to fucking kill you. And then they don't, because they realize that he's Maria Martinez's son, the person that they were working with. And then episode 3 is just them doing the job, and he does well. Oh, part of episode 2 is he uses the Simvedeston like 9 times and goes into fucking like toxic shock. And they're like, yeah, you probably shouldn't be using it or you're going to die. And then he's like, I'll just use it more to prove myself. And they're like, all right.
Yeah, David definitely feels like he's got something to prove.
Yeah.
Which he's already proved it, but he just keeps pushing it.
Yeah. And episode 3 is basically just, like I said, the mission that he's trying to prove himself on. They're trying to hijack this car from this guy, get this data. And then there's this big fucking chase with Tiger Claws, which is one of the gangs. And some reason he's using his slow-mo in the car, and then it's affecting the car, so he's able to like slip through traffic and shit and do like all these weird moves, which doesn't make a lot of sense because you're slowing yourself down. So why would that?
Well, I think it's because I think the thing is, it doesn't really slow. I think it makes you
slowing
go
his
faster.
reactions
like
down?
everything seems slower, but it's really you're going faster.
Okay.
So like it's like he's using. So like his reaction time with the car is so much faster than everyone else, so he's able to just excel. I think that's what my understanding of what the Sandy can do. It's like to us, it's and you play the game, you're slowing down time, but when really you're going faster.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's why when you face some enemies, they're like whoop 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 whoop. You talked about how difficult driving is in this game. We both did.
You brought it up.
Yeah.
I didn't have that much issue. I'm pretty good at
Well, I know
video
at first you said that driving cars was a little bit more.
It's just slippery. Yeah, you get used to them though.
But I like how when they put David in front of the car, it's kind of like the way that he was driving is how I felt like when I drove in the game. That it was like if you turn too much to the right, you just like.
Yep. Yeah, driving's not the best, but you can get used to it. You can get used to how slippery everything. Cars in the game kind of feel like Luigi from Mario 2, like landing after he jumps.
Yeah,
just slipping.
Just like ooh, he's a little slippy boy with his little legs.
Slippy boy,
little legs
flailing.
kicking in the air.
Wahoo! Yeah. So good 3 episodes.
Yeah, not much to talk about this. I think this is gonna be a short episode, Josh.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm not like. Oh Jesus Christ! Now I'm fucking shit up.
Do you almost spill your beer?
Not even close. I'm not that stupid. It's
Oh,
far enough away from me. No, I think for a series, I think even if you go into it not knowing a single thing about the game, you probably can just look at it as like a good anime that's also pretty brutal, very adult orientated.
Horny as fuck.
Very horny, lots of horny people.
A lot of tits.
Lots of titties. Animated titties.
I don't know if you got the part you see Kiwi naked a lot of times.
Kiwi?
She's the one that kind of has like a robotic mask on her face. She's blonde.
Is that the one that was at the bar and like jerked off the guy to like distract him? Or was like poured a drink on him and then was like...
Oh, that was Rebecca.
Oh, okay.
I think that was Rebecca who jerked that guy off.
Well, it was one of those like, oh my God, I spilled a drink on you. Like, oh, let me get it off your lap. And he's just like...
Oh, thank you, kind lady.
No, that's it's pretty good. Don't worry about it.
Thanks.
So yeah, I would say that this is a series that you can jump into if you've never played the game. It's enjoyable enough. It's not super long. Every episode gets to the point and has kind of a thing it's trying to do. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. I intend to finish the rest of it. And I'm not a big anime guy, so.
Yeah. It was that's why I was a little shocked that like, you were like, wow, yeah, I enjoyed this.
Yeah, anime is okay. I don't seek it out. It's a good anime, King of the Hill.
That is an animation.
Yeah.
Just like the game, each episode is like the chapters is named after a song.
Oh.
So the first episode was Let You Down by David Passi. I don't know this.
Oh boy.
David Patsiad.
David Passiadoro.
Yep, there you go. That's the name. I'm terrible. Hate me for it.
I'm not even looking at the name. I don't know.
Episode 2 was Like a Boy from Sierra. And then Smooth Criminal was episode 3.
Damn.
By Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. I'm in this game too.
and speaking of some songs, the theme song, which I know I'll probably get flagged on YouTube, but fuck it. I really enjoyed the theme song. It was Fire with a bunch of F's. That's the name of the song. It's not. It's called Fire, but it's like F F F F F F F. Fire.
Fire.
By Franz Ferdinand. I don't know why I paused on that. By Franz Ferdinand. And this is I'm gonna play it for you all.
Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Everybody's a net runner. Cyberware, 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 cyberware.
I like Franz Ferdinand, but a lot of the songs sound a lot the same. Yeah. I like the theme song, and the animation for the theme song is really good, and I like that mainly the theme song just shows all the credits to like the animation team instead of just being like, look at all these characters, anime. So I thought that was really cool. There was another song I really liked also that I want to play that I actually thought was by Tim Armstrong from Rancid. And if you're familiar with him, this guy sounds just like him, but this was they played this song a few times, and I'm assuming a lot of these songs were in the game, because a lot of the songs I remember hearing from the game were in this. But this is Who's Ready for Tomorrow by Rat Boy.
Oh yeah, they played this multiple times. 0, 0, 0.
This, and I think they played this with when he joins the team and also before.
Yeah. This was played in the first episode and the third episode.
But this part reminds me of Tim Armstrong. If you listen to Rancid, that's exactly what Tim Armstrong sounds like. So, and he has a band that kind of sounds like this, but I was wrong.
Dead wrong.
But it was so cool just seeing like there's a lot of cars you see in this that you get in the game. It was just like I was like, "Ooh, I remember that. Oh, I had that." And the guns too. And you forget that like some of these guns that you had were like fucking huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the gun that the guy uses at the very end of episode 3 is like a cannon, and it just blows an entire guy up.
Yep.
I was like, well, I want that gun.
Yeah, Maine carries a shotgun I used to use a lot, which was like a shotgun where I think it had like 6 blasts, and they would, or 4, and it would like hone in on like certain parts of the person's body. So when you shot it, it kind of had like heat-seeking bullets.
Good lord.
It was like such a good shotgun, you know.
Such a good shotgun.
It was such a good shotgun. But yeah, I don't know, like everything's great about this. I wish I can talk more. I kind of have to like not ruin things for Josh. Maybe when he finishes it before one of our episodes, we'll just do a quick rundown on it. But
with the old rundown.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the animation style on this. And yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to talk about this, Josh? Like,
I mean, they're only 20-minute episodes, so there's not a whole lot of meat.
If we did the whole thing, then like we should have done this earlier and done the whole thing, because there would have been a lot more to discuss, because the story does really develop. Like it really picks up, and I still feel the same how I felt when I first started watching it. I wish that this was the game. That's how I feel about it. It ends very nicely. I know I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah. Well, I will probably watch it, not soon, but at some point.
Okay. I know we usually score. Are we going to score this? I don't think we need to.
Let's score when we've watched the whole thing.
Yeah. So
Let's
we'll do
a score when. But yes, it is so far. It's brutal. It's not for children. There's a lot of adult themed things going on. If you've played Cyberpunk the game, you definitely, like Andrew has said, he said it a few times, you see a different side of the city. You see it from a person who is like the lowest of the low and isn't an established mercenary right off the bat. A person that is pushed into that world because they have no other option. The only person that was keeping them alive was murdered. Well, yeah, murdered. And the city just spat that person back up.
Yeah.
Like, yep, you don't have good insurance, so we did what we can, but here's your mom in a can.
And no one gives a shit. They're just like, oh, you're on your own now? You don't have parents? Okay, well, we still need the rent. We still need this. We need you to figure this out.
Yep. Yeah, so it's good seeing David's story because, like you said, there was just one mission where they mentioned David and they show a little bit of the anime. So, which I don't remember. I think I watched like 5 seconds of what they showed in the BD, and then I just got out of it. I was like, oh, cool jacket. Oh, I don't need this, and then I just put it in because it's iconic. I put it in storage.
Yeah, I was using it for street cred, but then I realized I was tapped out street cred, so then I took it off. Because also, I like that, well, you can change what you're wearing from what you're using for stats anyway, but the samurai jacket definitely had better stats than that once you get that. So
yep. Yes, it did, Andrew. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the series goes. I'm interested to see if they'll do a season 2. Yeah, and until then, one more week till Dead Space remake. And then that'll be what I'll be doing.
Yeah, and then we'll be building up to a discussion of that game, which I'm really looking forward to. But first, we got to get through the other couple episodes that we have planned for y'all. Well, like next week's episode.
Don't ask me. I don't know what you got planned.
Well, I'll let you know. You know what it is. Okay. We were going to do this another time, but we shift some things around, and we're going to do it finally now. I've been playing some of these games. I believe I've beat 4 of them, and now I'm on Mega Man 5. But we're going to be doing the songs of Mega Man. So we've said in a previous episode, if you have any suggestions that you would like to hear for Mega Man songs, bring them in. We're going to try to stick more to the main Mega Man franchise, but we'll probably play a couple Mega Man X.
Of course. No, I'm not. I'm definitely playing some Mega Man X songs.
But we've covered Mega Man X and we played a lot of those songs. So
that's fine.
That
was a long time ago.
No, that's fine. But I'm probably going to try to drift more onto the main franchise. That's all I'm saying. We will play some Mega Man X songs, but that's what we're doing. That is the plan.
Cool. Mega Man. Schmegma Man.
So like I said, if you have any Mega Man songs you'd like to hear on next episode, you could reach out to us at 8bitmoviereview@gmail.com. That's the number 8bitmoviereview@gmail.com. And you can hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram.
And YouTube.
Or
if you want to listen to our backlog of video game movie reviews and video game discussions, you can go to our website, anchor.fm/8bitpod, which will also lead you to all of our streaming options, including Apple Podcasts, RSS feeds, crazy, and Spotify.
Woo! And don't forget, like we mentioned at the beginning of the episode, while it's new, The Last of Us HBO, we will be covering every episode live at
not live.
Live on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Well, that's
live 2 days later.
2 days later. Live on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time, baby.
On Twitch.
We on the East Coast. And you can find that link on all of our socials.
Yep.
I'm Andrew Gonzalez.
And I'm Josh Hitchington.
And we'll catch you next week. Chooms.
Gonks.
I choose my friends over chooms.
Choom sounds like the stuff that gets caught under my foreskin.
Oh, God.
No, that's schmegma.
You fucking God.